Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to be back. So happy to see each of you on today's call. And let's get into it. Last week, I had prepared a topic for you, and I ended up switching it to something that I thought that was more relevant. It's like something within me said, you know what? You need to redirect where you're going. So I'm going to pick up on what I was supposed to do last week today. And the topic that we'll be talking about, I'll share in a moment with you. For those of you that are new, I'm your girl, Erica, or hope to be your girl, Erica. I'm a coach, meditation instructor, as well as a nurse. And in this space and place is where you get to press the reset button on your life. It's where you get to return to presence, peace, and some form of harmony in your life. My intention for each and every weekly session is to make them as simple, easy, and effortless as possible that you will want to add this Live Life Better series, which is the name of our weekly series, to your life. Today's topic is centered on work overwhelm. Work overwhelm. In fact, so many people feel like they're drowning at work. And how do they reclaim their life? And reclaiming their life might look different to one person versus another. Well, there's a cost to not reclaiming your life or not aligning with life. Essentially, that's really what it is. It's aligning your life with what is most important to you. Being able to show up as your best self, your most authentic self, which brings a level of peace, which brings a level of harmony into your everyday existence. So there's a cost to not having that. And that cost is too great a price to pay. There are 3 keys that I'll focus on today that really speaks to what that is. And the first one is the constant frustration. The second is the constant sadness. And the third is the constant lack of joy. And what do all of these 3 things essentially do to your mind, do to what you believe in yourself, and also what does it do to your body? The first key is the constant frustration. I remember several years ago watching a program with Iyanla Vanzant, and she was interviewing Sheree Whitfield. And in the interview, I remember Iyanla saying, "Sheree, you're angry." And at the time, I thought to myself, I don't think she's angry. I think she's really frustrated. I don't see the anger in her, but I do see the frustration that she has given her circumstances and situation. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I realized, at the root of frustration is anger. That is the root of it. You can make anger sound as sexy as you want. That I'm frustrated, that I'm upset, that I just don't feel like it. It can sound as sexy as you want it to sound, but the truth of the matter is that at the root of that feeling is anger, some form of anger. And the moment in which we get real with ourselves is the moment in which we start to heal ourselves. Now, I sometimes like to use a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being something that really triggers you, makes you really upset. And one is something that, it doesn't really upset me. And 3 being somewhere in the middle. Sometimes we need to take a time out and check in with where am I on that scale? Of course, we don't want to get to the point in which we're at 5, because that's when you're starting to pop off. That's when you're really telling somebody else off. That's when you are really not showing up as your best self, because you're allowing the situation, the work experience, the people at work, and your perception of how they're treating you to get the best of you. So before we get to that 5, let's take several seats. Let's roll it back some. Let's roll it back a little bit more so that we can get clear on what it is that we need and what it is that we can do without. That's when you start to really think about, is it me that's adding to this frustration, this root of anger at work, this disconnection that I'm feeling? Or is it that I'm just in the wrong place? And maybe that is what is triggering my upset and frustration and anger. Or is it that I'm just working with the wrong people? Maybe they're not necessarily the best people to work around. As you start to get clear on how you are showing up in that scenario and how they are showing up in that scenario, and ultimately, what is it that your soul needs to be well? What is it that you need to be well? What work environment will work for you? In each mishap, if you will, it teaches us a lesson. And the moment that we can embrace those lessons, we start to realize, life is not happening to me, but it's happening for me. Ultimately, we, at the core of our being, we are harmonious. We are peaceful. We are loving. We are kind. That's who we are. It takes a whole lot of work to be anything outside of our best self. That's when anxiety starts to kick in. That's when anger starts to kick in. That's when people really start to do things that can be harmful and detrimental to their career and also to relationships. How we show up can oftentimes damage or bring together solid relationships, work relationships. In the work environment, yes, you're there to work, but also it's an amazing opportunity to get to know people on a different level. And oftentimes that's not just done within the workspace, but also going out with certain coworkers to get to know them on a deeper level. Where now you're bringing more humanity to the conversation. Now you're seen as more of a real person versus just from the productivity that you're able to offer at work. And I speak from a lot of experience. I've been in the game for quite a while in this workspace. And I've learned a lot about myself. In each moment in my younger years and even into my 30s, of pointing the finger at the other person thinking it's them, there's a saying that the moment you point a finger, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. That gave me a lot of insight. That if I am okay with being in a disharmonious work environment, then ultimately, what does that say about me? The moment I got that, I started to look at myself and not them. that I'm in control of my life. I am in control of this situation, and I can choose to stay there or find ways to prepare myself to leave there. Sometimes based on your situation, you cannot leave because you haven't prepared properly for the exit. And even that was a lesson. That the gift of money is for you to be a good steward over your money. It means living not beyond your means. It means honoring what's been given to you and being really careful with the dollars and cents, knowing that you've got to have some sense in order to properly manage it. Years ago, there was a girlfriend of mine who said, you know what? Human beings need to understand that Mad Day is coming. I remember when she said this to me. She said, we need to realize that, you know what? Mad Day is coming. And you need to prepare for Mad Day. So if Mad Day for you is to say, you know what? I'm going to have my freedom money set aside here. That if they decide to do a little thing or a big thing or whatever that thing is that I cannot tolerate, then guess what, homie? Peace out. I'm not dealing with it. And even that is okay. That's how you change the game and change your mindset around the situation and take back your power. Because it's not about them. It is about you and the moment in which you get that. You release the root of that anger to take back your life. Which then leads me to key number 2. The constant sadness. You know, there's a cost to being okay with not being okay in the workspace. You bring that home with you. It affects the relationships that you have with your children because you're not showing up as your best self. You're upset that most of the time or the most of the hours that you spend in the day is working in an environment that you really don't feel connected to. That shows up in how you are relating to your family. And most importantly, it shows up in how you relate to yourself or lack thereof. Self-love is key here. Self-love is essential here. And when you start to love yourself enough to say, if I have to skinny down the way that I live so that I can have a little bit more freedom, if I need to move into a smaller place so I can have a little bit more happiness, then I'm okay with making that change. Here's the thing about change. It's not always comfortable. And it means that sometimes you have to inconvenience yourself for a moment to set yourself up for the future. And when you look at it that way, all of a sudden, you know what? That sadness served a purpose in my life. It served to wake me up. It served to give me some insight. It served to change my mindset so I can treat myself better, so I can love myself through it instead of harming myself through it by feeling like I'm stuck in this situation. And there's a saying that anything that you are okay doing, then that means that that's showing up in everything that you are doing. There's a little ounce of that showing up, or maybe perhaps even a quarter pound of that showing up in other areas of your life. So we have to be careful with the internal contract that we are making with ourselves and the things that we are agreeing to what is really not okay. But yet we are unconsciously going through life saying, you know what? I guess this is just the way it is. And that you always are then left with second best. That affects your confidence. Listen, I'm speaking from experience. That affects your confidence. That affects your self-worth. And it doesn't allow you to feel like you are in control of your life. The moment that you turn the key to the ignition in your soul, you will be on autopilot. You don't have any intention of reversing because you know what that is. And you done left that behind. That's old news. Your eyes must be fixated on the horizon. A better life, a better work experience, attracting better people into your life within your work environment. Because you first, as I said, are showing up as your best. And when you show up as your best, life has a funny way of meeting you where you are and giving you exactly what you need, the people that you need to support this higher level of vibration in your life. Which then leads me to key number 3, the constant lack of joy. Have you been there? Have you been there and wondered, when is joy going to knock at my door? When is it going to be my turn? Why are they having it better than me? They're getting promoted. And I'm sitting on all of this potential, but I don't know how to activate it. You know, like that's where my joy is. And I need to figure out a way to get it started. Have you been there? Or am I the only one? Please heart me up in the comments. Write something in the comments and let me know if this is where you are or if this is where you've been. Because we can each learn from one another. And looking at that lack of joy, how does that affect your everyday life? How does it affect how you feel about yourself? How does it affect your ability to be a top earner? Because trust me, it correlates. Because when you do lack that kind of joy, you're not really the kind of person people want to be around. People feel that energy. They don't want to be around that. People have a lot to do at work anyway. And to bring that level of energy into the work environment, into your space, and even into your home, it becomes unpleasing for people to be around you. And that creates a whole lot of other issues. So where are you on that joy scale? I want you to start thinking about that and then connecting all of the dots for the other 2 keys that I've mentioned, even if it means that you have to watch this over again and take notes. In fact, I encourage you for each and every session that if there's a nugget that you really want to hone in on after these sessions, write it down. Reflect on it throughout the day, reflect on it throughout the week, and determine how that is going to support you within your work environment to create more harmony, and again, to create more harmony in the person that you are becoming through this situation. Don't let toxic work environments change you, because they can. Yes, there are people that make environments uncomfortable, and especially if you're working for someone that really should not be leading an organization. We have some unconscious leaders in organizations whose focus is completely wrong. And as a result, people within the organization are unhappy. If all of it feels way too overwhelming for you, then start to make a plan for your exit strategy. You don't have to stay stuck. Being stuck is a choice. Complaining about it is a choice. It means that you have to get radical and change up some things in order to get to where you want to be. Ultimately, the experience of work-life disharmony means that there's something greater knocking at the door for you. Your soul is desiring something more. That's why you're uncomfortable. That's why you're uneasy. That's why you're unhappy. That's why you're angry. Because you know that you are not living up to your highest potential. And let me tell you something. Because we spend so much time at work, most of our waking hours are spent working. For many of us, it's essential to do what you love, do what you enjoy, and especially do what you like. Anything less is robbing you of your existence, and it is simply not worth it. If you implement these 3 keys in your life, the examples within these 3 keys, it will turn around your frustration. It will turn around the sadness that you're having about work. It will start to turn around this disconnection and this lack of joy that you're having. Because now you are harnessing the fullest potential within you to say, I'm going to make the decision and I'm going to create a plan to get me out of this situation. Let's get ready to lock in and seal in this lesson, because I really feel that there are way too many of us living a life but not truly living. And much of it is centered around our work environment, which then chips away at how we feel about ourselves. It chips away at our relationships, and it chips away at our health. So as we lock in and seal in this lesson, hold on to the intention that life is better than this. And I am going to spend the rest of my days, the rest of my months, the rest of my years on this earth, living out that truth, experiencing that truth, because you're worth it. Check in with yourself and just notice how you're sitting in the chair, because that's really important as we continue on to our breathing practice. And what I will say is that I will do a hard stop at 9:55. And if you would like to follow me over at Facebook, I'm going to do a live, a deeper dive around this topic of overwhelm at work and how to create more work-life harmony. But you will have to register to attend the live session. So you can find me over at Facebook on Rise 360 Coaching and Consulting. Okay? But in the meantime and in between time, just check in with yourself in terms of how you're sitting. And pay attention to your posture, ensuring that your back is properly positioned, that you are upright, that energy flow doesn't have any hindrances based on the way your body is positioned and aligned. So your back doesn't have to be ramrod straight, but it does need to be straight as best as possible. Really paying attention to if there's any aches or pains in your body. You don't want to exacerbate that by trying to be in a position that's way too uncomfortable for what your body can contain in this moment. So just give yourself a little bit of grace, but also at the same time, try to position your body upright. And let's pay attention to how we're breathing. Just notice if you are doing a lot of upper chest breathing. That typically is an indication that you are stressed. It's amazing how our body responds and alters and modifies based on how we're feeling. That's an external observation for those of us that aren't aware internally of how our body is feeling. Just by observing externally how we're breathing, we can also align and check back in and recenter ourselves. So you want to drop the air down low into your diaphragm. And as you're breathing in, you'll expand your lungs, your diaphragm. And as you exhale, you'll contract them. Okay? You want to be sure that your shoulders are not slouched over, but they're rounded out as best as possible. So let's breathe in together through our nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Breathing in again through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Breathing in again through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Notice that on the exhale, I'm intentionally hearing the sound of my breath. I'd like for you to do the same thing. It's a really effective way of calming the body down, relaxing the body enough to release stress, to release any tension that you're feeling, and to return to some form of homeostasis, internal peace, regulation in your body. Let's breathe in again through our nose. And exhale through our mouth. Breathing in through our nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Notice the softening that's happening inside of your body. And start to pay attention internally, just checking in right now. And simply noticing, how do I feel in this moment? Just being aware without trying to control the answer in any way. Simple awareness is key. Let's inhale again through our nose. And out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. I'll now walk you through a simple mind-body awareness exercise to help you to relax even more. I'd like for you to close your eyes. Just internally feel your body from the inside out. And now I'd like for you to focus on your feet. And simply notice the sensations of your feet. In fact, focus in on the left foot. Do you notice any tension or pain, or perhaps nothing at all? I'd like for you to repeat with me silently the word relax. Relax. Allowing your foot to relax as best as it can. Now bring all of your attention over to your right foot. And again, noticing the sensations that are happening right now. With simple awareness and kindness. Just being aware. And now silently repeating the word relax. Relax. Allowing your foot to relax as best as it can. Now bringing all of your attention and awareness to your legs. Your left leg and your right leg. Honoring your legs for everything that they've done for you through the course of your lifetime. Just having a moment of reverence and gratitude right here. And now checking in with any sensations that are happening inside of your legs. Again, simple awareness. And now repeating the word relax. Relax. Allowing your legs to relax as best as they can. Now bringing all of your attention to your lower back. An area that we oftentimes carry a lot of stress right there. It works overtime for us. Just having a moment of pure kindness and gratitude for this part of your body. And now silently repeating the word relax, relax. Allowing your lower back to relax as best as it can. And now working your attention and intention through the rest of your back, your mid-back, and your upper back and shoulders. Just internally scanning this part of the body and feeling into it and noticing what it's communicating to you. Do you feel any pain, any tension, any tingling? Any sensation at all? Or perhaps nothing at all. And now internally, silently, repeating the word relax, relax, relax. Allowing this part of your body to relax as best as it can. And now bringing your attention to your left arm and your right arm. And being grateful for everything that it's done for you. Even being able to turn on this live and join this live today. The movement of your fingers, your hand, and your entire arm on both sides of your body. Again, having a moment of gratitude right here. And then internally repeating the word, relax, relax. Allowing your left arm and your right arm to relax as best as it can. Now bringing all of your attention to your head, your brain, and all of the thoughts that you have in one day. It's said that human beings have 60 to 80,000 and even up to over 100,000 thoughts every single day. Right here and right now is a moment for you just to be grateful for the healthy function of your brain and all of the signals that it sends throughout the course of your body. And in this moment, softly, quietly, intentionally, repeat the word relax. Relax. And allow your brain to relax as best as it can. Now bring all of your attention to your heart center, which is the area in the middle of your chest, a powerful center within your body. And allow yourself to just rest right there with all intention, focusing in on your heart center. We'll have a moment of silence right here. I'll let you know when this moment is up by ringing a soft bell. Rest right here within your heart center. Please release from this meditative moment and just ease yourself out of it. Checking in with your body. Please place the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Bowing in gratitude to your soul for today's practice. And when you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes and repeating the word namaste. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Thank you for joining today's live session with me. I hope to see you over at my Facebook Live, in which I will do a deeper dive around work overwhelm and how to create work-life harmony. I'll see you over there. Thank you for joining.